Today we are going to travel through time to learn the fascinating history of mind-altering substances, more specifically cannabis. It is very cool to learn the origins of a substance that we know and love today. We will talk about the evolution of cannabis and how different cultures used it in their own way. These cultures used psychoactive substances in many ways, ranging from medicinal to ritualistic uses. Follow along as we explore the world of cannabis in history and uncover the questions of its amazing past. Cannabis is an exceptionally good hallucinogenic to talk about because it is very prevalent today. The three ancient cultures that we will be discussing are Greece, China, and Egypt. First, let's get an idea of what cannabis is, or what people today commonly refer to as marijuana or weed. The term marijuana is of Hispanic descent, and it refers to the plant that people smoke for mind-altering purposes. These effects include changes in mood, relaxation, altered sense of time, and sometimes even hallucinations. There are two different species of cannabis, and those are sativa and indica. The main difference is that indica is for night use and sativa is for day use. Indica contains more THC and sativa contains more CBD. The plants also look much different, with indica plants only growing to 3 to 4 feet and sativa growing up to 20 feet. One of the biggest and most known ancient civilizations that use cannabis is China. China didn't just use it for medicine and getting high like society does today. They also used it for fiber, food, and spiritual purposes. They would use the fiber they extract from many things such as rope, paper, clothing, and fishing nets. This shows how crucial cannabis was because it allowed them to get the things they needed. Most of the history of cannabis in China was uncovered through ancient texts and writings. However, there was some physical evidence that showed how they used it in ancient times. This ancient artifact was a brazier, which was a wooden bowl with rocks that they would heat up to burn the cannabis. This was discovered in the Pamir Mountains by a group of archaeologists excavating the tombs of Dzerzhankil Cemetery. They didn't know exactly what the brazier was until they analyzed it and found unusually high levels of THC. This was one of the earliest forms of physical evidence found about burning cannabis for its psychoactive effects. In ancient Greece, cannabis, often known as cannabis with a K, had a big influence on daily life. Greeks used cannabis for a variety of purposes, such as sacred rituals and medicinal uses. The plant was associated with Demeter, the Greek goddess of fertility and agriculture. Cannabis was believed to have specific characteristics that may cause changes of consciousness during religious ceremonies. In addition, Hippocrates and other ancient Greek physicians researched the therapeutic properties of cannabis and used it to treat a variety of illnesses. Cannabis therefore developed into an essential part of Greek society, fulfilling both medicinal and ritualistic purposes for everyone. There was a very interesting artifact that was a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. An archaeologist at the Prussian Cultural Heritage Foundation said there was an artifact that was a solid gold vessel found in the Scythian grave mound, and it had traces of opium and cannabis on it. The Scythians were a group of ancient tribes of warriors whose drug rituals were documented by Greek historian Herodotus. This proves that cannabis was being used since they found the cannabis residue on this artifact. Cannabis was widely used in daily life in ancient Egypt as well. Egyptians used cannabis for a lot of different reasons, for both medicinal reasons and religious activities. They regularly used it to treat problems like pain and swelling because they had confidence in its ability to provide relief. Cannabis was also used spiritually, as seen by its use in religious rituals. The plant had a special connection with the goddess Sishat, who is connected to knowledge and intelligence. Due to its versatility, cannabis was highly valued by the Egyptians, who included it in both their religious and medicinal practices, showing the plant's value in their ancient civilization. There have been many ancient paintings that show Sishat with a leaf of a cannabis plant above her head. This proves the importance of cannabis in Greece because it wouldn't be portrayed in multiple paintings of a Greek goddess if it wasn't so significant. This special plant was utilized in many ancient civilizations dating back to thousands of years ago. Each civilization used it in different ways for different reasons, but some of those main reasons that they have in common are ritualistic and medicinal purposes. All the artifacts that have been discovered throughout these cultures show the importance of this plant and its uses in each culture. Cannabis surely hasn't died down in today's society, with it still being used medicinally and recreationally.